Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel, Navigating Your Freedom, with your host, me, Tara Gallegos. Today my video is going to be about the effects of childhood trauma on us as adults and some of the coping mechanisms and tips that you can use as an adult to get through it and work through it over the long haul. This is a process that may not work for everybody, but I do hope to be able to help as many people as I can. And again, welcome back. I do hope to see you guys in the next video as well. In this video, I'm not only going to go over what some of the side effects of childhood trauma are, but also sharing a story from my childhood that I feel is quite dramatic. And I will be doing that throughout my videos to be able to hopefully connect with anybody who has had this experience. I hope not, but I know we've all had some type of story, of course, growing up. I am the middle of 3 girls, and I was raised by a narcissistic, bipolar, ADHD, abusive single mother. So if that alone is a connection you have, welcome in. Please feel free to share your stories in the comment. And if there is a topic that you'd like me to discuss or research for you, please feel free to DM me. I would love to see you guys subscribe and follow me on my TikTok and my Instagram so that I can hear more of your stories and hopefully build that connection and rapport with my audience here. So let's get started today with talking about some of the side effects that childhood trauma has on us as adults. So diving right in. So of course you can find these instruments online as well, but what I wanted to talk about was the effects again on adults that have experienced childhood trauma. So I'm going to go a little bit into each of these, not too much detail, but again, if there's anything you do want more details on, feel free to comment below and I will go into detail for you, of course. So the first one is relationships. Childhood trauma can have a huge effect on your relationships. I know that personally, I seek reassurance for everything that I do because as a child, my opinion was not valued at all. And it made me feel like I was never doing anything right or nothing I did was ever going to be good enough. So in my current relationship, I do, and I am working on it, I do require constant reassurance that I'm not doing anything wrong or that they're not upset with me. But I do realize that this stems from my childhood and not feeling valued in my opinion or even just my voice in general. In a household full of women, that was hard to get in overall. So there's that. And then anger. I would say that anger is something I have seen in others a lot more than myself personally. I do have a few friends who have experienced childhood trauma that are far more angry about it than I am. I will say that my experience with my biological mother in my adulthood has made me far angrier than the relationship I had or the lack thereof one as a child. But that is definitely one of the top ones up here. So if that is you, that is totally normal. It's fine. And you can definitely find ways to work through that as well. Then we definitely have the substance use disorder. This one falls on my younger sister. I will say that in my family, we have personally all taken a different path with the childhood abuse and childhood trauma that we have suffered. All went down different paths. Substance abuse was not the one that I had gone down, but it is the one that my younger sister chose. So having a family member with substance abuse will also be something I talk about in the future, and being able to navigate that in your own personal life will be something that I'll talk about in the future as well. And then of course there is depression. That is, I definitely feel like a number one reason in adults that the effect of childhood trauma has on us. Feeling like, me personally, never feeling good enough or adequate compared to my sisters. I was the odd one. I wasn't good at sports. I wasn't the pretty one. So I definitely felt inadequate, and it did make me very depressed that I didn't feel that I was good enough to be a part of my family for a long time. Again, this is okay. It is okay to have these feelings as an adult, but you just need to know when to ask for help. You don't want these to get so severe that you can't function in your daily life, because then it's taking you away from me personally, my children. If I let this trauma rule me, I wouldn't be available as a mother to my children or a wife to my husband. And I definitely didn't want that. So I sought help when I felt that it was going in that direction. But these feelings are okay to have. You're not crazy. You're not a bad person. You're not a bad mom if you're depressed. You're not a bad wife if you're depressed. You just need to let those people who love you help you. And it's not going to be easy, especially depending on the childhood trauma you've experienced. Asking for help was definitely a struggle for me because how I was raised, I took it as my mother, oh, I struggled, so you'll be fine if you do too. I never understood why she was okay with letting us struggle. If we don't have to struggle, why should we? And there are so many resources out there, you guys, that would help you not struggle. You do not have to struggle just because your parents did. And that was really difficult for me to accept as an adult. And it took a long time, but I realized that just because she did it doesn't mean I have to. And I did seek the help that I needed and was super grateful because of it. I will, again, openly share my personal experiences in a lot of these areas, and I hope that you guys feel comfortable to do that too. So we also have repressed memories. This one really stood out to me. So, repressed memories. This I thought was a talent of mine for years because there were so many incidences where my sisters and I would talk and I'd be like, I have no idea what you're talking about. They're like, what do you mean? You were right there. And I was like, no, oh, wait a second. I was there. That happened to me. But because it was so traumatic, my brain completely blocked it out to protect myself because I couldn't function as a person, let alone an adult, with those types of memories. So memory suppression was a superpower of mine. I would not be where I am today in adulthood at all if it was not for that ability. So I would say in my personal experience with memory suppression, it is always baffling to me when I do recall these situations, like how I got a black eye with a Pringle can. That'll be a story for another time. But that was a super fun situation in itself, but had completely blocked that out. Or the punishment methods that were used to structure us into young women. Those were memories that I repressed to be able to get through the day, to get through my childhood. So that is definitely something that I know quite a few people personally have done themselves just to be able to survive their household as children into young adulthood. So that's one that didn't surprise me that was on the list at all. Now, to talk about some tips and tricks, I would like to go into ones that I personally use with those types of traumatic issues, anxiety, depression, and memory suppression. What I have done that has worked wonders for me is journaling. Journaling is a huge part of my day-to-day basis. I have so many journals, it's ridiculous. I could open a store. Now, I feel like this works really well because when you feel like you have no one to talk to, or you're just not ready to share this information with other people as of yet, journaling is a great method to just get those thoughts out of your head and just be able to close the book on those. I personally will write down experiences, close my journal, and say to myself, that chapter of my life is done now. I'm an avid reader. I absolutely love reading as well, and I use that as a coping method. When I need to escape for a little bit, reading is my go-to. I'm also a gamer, so I do use that as well. There are a lot of methods that you could find that'll work for you and what you need those things to do for you. I, of course, would highly recommend staying away from substances. That could lead down a very dark path. There's nothing wrong with going out and hanging out with friends and having a drink, but if it does start to become a everyday occurrence, you should definitely seek professional help at that time. You may, of course, have deeper issues that are causing you physical, emotional, and mental harm in the sense of addiction to alcohol or other substances. That is definitely something that is no joke, and you definitely want to make sure you're taking care of yourself and recognizing those signs as soon as you can to get the best help that you can. And don't worry if there's ever a time that you're saying that you need help but you just can't afford it or you can't find it. My business works with those of lower income. as myself, am one who could not afford a lawyer in cases where I needed one, and really could have used somebody's guidance and help and had to do it all alone. And I hate knowing that men and women have had to do that. And it could have turned out different for their children, for themselves, in a lot of different situations if they just had somebody to vouch for them. And lawyers are just so expensive. But being able to get that professional consultation, I would like my company to be able to provide that for you. So if you're in need of something, what Navigating Your Freedom is here for is to help you gain your freedom back in an affordable manner, so that that time and money that you need for your family and for yourself, you have. Of course, we are a business, we are run like that, but you guys are our priority, and we want everyone to know that. So you guys are first. As a mom of 4, this is an extremely important thing to me. Having to, again, personally go through all of this alone and fight by myself was exhausting. If I could have found somebody that does what Navigating Your Freedom does, I can't even imagine how things may have turned out differently for me and my family. So I sat back one day and realized that I could do this for others, and I want to do this for others. So here I am. So again, back to those tips and tricks: journaling, gaming, reading, spending time with people you know who love you and would benefit you. My apologies, 1 second. And again, I'd like to reiterate, thank you so much for watching. And remember, healing is a journey. It is okay to seek help. And if you found this video helpful, please subscribe, share it with others who might benefit. And I'll see you guys next time. I hope you have a great rest of your day and the rest of the week. Bye. And with all of that being said, I do hope that you guys find a safe space here at Navigating Your Freedom. And if you know anybody who could, of course, benefit from just having someone to talk to, please feel free to send them my way. I'd be more than happy to take that opportunity, okay? So just finding what'll work for you is okay. We can take the time. We can research it. We can try a few things. I know in my area currently, a lot of people are outdoorsy, hiking, biking, kayaking, snowboarding. Those are all really good things to get you physically out of your head, to just focus on something fun, and that takes your physical body to do so can be huge for your mental health. Just going outside and sitting in your backyard or sitting on your porch, drinking tea or coffee, can do so much for you. You need to make sure that you're making time and space for your needs and yourself. That is so important.